this is how I know we are going in a terrible direction. Terrible direction. So apparently in the UK, calling a man bald is considered sexual harassment. Now, I know I'm in America, but precedent could be set in other places. It could be set in other countries, especially like a country like the UK in relation to America, right? Like if they're doing something in the UK, oftentimes we'll adopt it here in America and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like Canada is a commonwealth of the UK, you know what I mean, of England. So we still have a lot of ties with the UK. So when I see stuff like this happening in the UK, even though I'm in America, I don't go, oh man, that's the UK. I'm like, nah, that's a telltale sign of the direction that like humanity is headed in general, right? So calling a man bald is considered harassment. Calling a man bald can be sexual harassment, High Court declares. No more jokes. No more bald jokes, girls. I'll be the first to say the superficial comments and judgments about someone's physical appearance are not cool. But to label bald jokes a form of sexual harassment seems a bit extreme. You think? Apparently, the High Court thinks otherwise. The whole lengthy case started back in 2019 when an electrician named Tony Finn accused his boss of sexual harassment. Allegedly, Finn's boss at the British Bung Company had referred to him as a stupid bald cunt. The English have a way with words, but wait. So, of those three words, the bald part got to you? The one thing that is probably definitively true got to you? Interesting. Okay. Maybe this is maybe this is my American sensibilities, but I'm thinking maybe the C word is more of an issue here, but I digress. Me too, and stupid. Both of those objective, by the way. Calling somebody stupid and a cunt are objective. Calling somebody bald is not. It's subjective. Calling somebody stupid and a cunt is totally subjective, right? Calling somebody bald is not. Like that can be a reality. That could be objective. I said subjective. I mean it. Calling somebody bald can be objective. Calling somebody a stupid cunt is subjective, right? Like that could be considered harassment. But calling somebody tall, well, I guess that's subjective too. Anyways, according to the panel of judges led by Judge Jonathan Brain, of course, name is fitting, the term bald is inherently related to gender. So using it against a man could breach equality laws. In other words, bald is a sexist insult. The things we do to protect men's egos. The things we do. The three-person panel also stated that the remark crossed a line, quote unquote, and there is a connection between the word bald and the protected characteristic of sex. No, it's not. Not at all. According to the Telegraph, the panel consisted of three bald men. This is like something straight out of the fucking Onion. This is not a real. This can't be real. This is something out of the Onion wrote this. Baldness is much more prevalent in men than women, they said. Well, tell that to the PCOS community. Exactly. Now, according to the Sun, the full judgment made at the Employment Appeals Tribunal has finally been published 4 years after the initial comments against Finn. The electrician will likely receive compensation for the alleged sexual harassment. As expected, this case is gaining major traction on social media, with many users expressing their disbelief over their ruling. Quote unquote, this is silly, one person wrote. Quote, we should all strive to be better people and to be more understanding and supportive with those who are missing something. But it seems silly to waste the court's time with things so small. Not when it's in defense of men. Most others labeled the notion as nonsense. However, one person posed a different perspective. Quote, I think it's a bit extreme, but I could see the precedent. If people cannot joke about something a woman cannot control, then why should they be able to joke about something a man cannot control? Shrugs. I'm trying to think about what are they referring to? Like, what is explicitly, like, is being fat something that is gendered? Because there are tons of fat men, so wouldn't be that. What do they joke about with women that they can't control? I don't know. I don't know. I'm missing something on that, but yeah. Oh man, that was hilariously scary. That was weird. I don't like that at all. The precedent it's setting is crazy, but I also need to point out how okay, so when I read something like that, I talk about this all the time. I talk about how men seem to be able to get away with saying the most egregious shit about women, right? Like I'm like saying that women are gold diggers should be sexual harassment. Like that actually can cause real world harm to a woman. Calling a woman greedy, talking about single mothers, things of that nature. Like these things actually, or saying women should choose better after they've been abused by a man. These are all things that actually can actually lead to physical real world harm against women. And also it excuses real world harm against women. Asking a woman what was she wearing when she was raped, asking a woman how late she was out when a gaggle of men harassed her, and so on and so forth. All of those things lead to real world harm, and they condone real world violence against women and harassment of women, right? But here we are talking about something that is completely innocuous. A person calling you bald is it's a reality. You're bald. You are. You either are or you aren't. I'm not bald. Somebody calls me bald. Why would I get upset at that? You bald headed. Am I bald? But in the black community, by the way, I would like to mention that this ruling seems very much a white man thing, because in the black community, black women get called bald headed more than black men do. Like black women don't really care about black men having bald heads. And this is my complete anecdotal opinion. I think because black men look good with bald heads, right? Like Michael Jordan, and you know what I mean? Like think all the black men have bald heads. Morris Chestnut has a bald head now. I'm pretty sure LL Cool J has a bald head. Like think about all the very attractive black men that have bald heads, right? So I don't think black women give a fuck about a black man having a bald head, generally speaking. But black men have definitely called black women bald head, chicken head, all that type of shit, right? I've heard that growing up. I've heard boys call little girls bald headed. I've never heard little girls call a little boy bald headed. It's always been boys calling black girls or black women bald headed. So is that not happening in the UK? Or black women not being called bald headed by black men or by other men? Because it's happening in the US, and so I'm pretty sure it's happening in the UK. That is 100% rooted in white supremacy, right? Like black people or black men comparing black women to white women and talking about their hair length and all of that shit. Like who gives a fuck, right? But it's just funny that this seems very like one of those moments when I can clear, like it's concise and clear that this is to protect the egos of white men specifically. I don't think this is a problem in the black community for men. I think this is a problem for black women. So I hope if a black woman is called a bald head scallywag or something like that, I'm hoping she can sue for sexual harassment. I'm hoping it goes both ways. So yeah, let's I hope that that's the case. But we know how these things work. Usually when they make laws, even when they seem like they should be able to be interpreted for everybody, they're typically not. Don't let a white man say something about a black woman's hair. I'm pretty sure little to nothing will happen to that man. But the amount of things that black men, the amount of things that black men can say, the amount of things that men can say about women, to pivot back to that, is astronomical. It's so crazy what men can say about women. And now looking at this, it's like, yeah, okay. Like men, like you can't tell me men aren't the fucking snowflakes of the world. You guys are fucking snowflakes, dude. I don't want to hear shit about you got a victim mentality. What the fuck is this? If this ain't a victim mentality, what the fuck is this? This is 100% y'all making yourselves out to be these freaking victims. Like, please.